welcome to the Sydney Stoma channel. My name's Chris. How are you? Hope you're all doing really well. I'm not. I'm currently got COVID. Feel quite pants, to be quite honest, and it's the second time I've had COVID, and I am double jabbed on the old vaccinations as well. But there you go. I think it's just going to be one of those things, and that it's just going to be here forever. But I'm not here to talk about COVID. I'm sure we're all sick and tired of hearing about COVID, but I thought I'd do a video to cheer myself up a little bit, to make myself smile a little bit, and doing videos and helping people does make me smile. So this video I'm going to be talking about my Barbie butt surgery. So because I've got Crohn's disease, I've got a colostomy, and I've had all my anus and rectum removed, so I've got what they call a Barbie butt, or if you're a man we call it a Ken butt, or I like to call it an action man butt. And I'm just going to talk to you about recovery. So I'm going to talk to you about waking up in hospital after the surgery through to going home and the ongoing recovery. So a Barbie butt, its technical name is, it's always a bit of a mouthful, it's called a proctectomy. And if it's being completely removed, your anus and your rectum, and being healed up, then it's known as a total proctectomy. Bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Medical words are, aren't they? So yeah, a total proctectomy. See, I can't say it unless I actually read it. So I'm going to talk to you about my experience of when I was lying in hospital waiting to go and have it, to coming round from surgery and so on. So I've made some notes just to try and get it in a bit of an order. So if I do look down, it's because I'm looking at the notes that I've made in my pad. So I've had mine a while now. It's over 4 years, just over 4 years since I've had my colostomy and my anus and rectum removed. And it's about time I did this video, really. I've done lots of videos and I don't know why I haven't covered this one. So I thought it's about time I did it. For people that are new to having a Barbie butt, just sharing my experience of it to hopefully help you through that as well. So the surgery itself, so it was all planned. I knew it was happening. It was my choice to have the surgery. I made the decision to have a colostomy and have my anus and rectum removed and have a Barbie butt. I did a video on why I chose to do that, so feel free to go and check that one out. So yeah, I knew it was planned. I knew it was coming, and I went into hospital on the day, and I wasn't actually that nervous, considering it's a big operation and it takes a while. It can take about 6 hours, I think, or over 6 hours. I wasn't feeling particularly nervous because it's something I wanted. I knew through doing my own research that it was going to give me my life back, or certainly give me a much better quality of life compared to what I was dealing with all the Crohn's problems I was having. So I wasn't particularly nervous. I was quite calm, almost, don't know if happy is the right word, but for me, I was hoping it was going to give me an end to the majority of my Crohn's problems that I was having, and to date it has. So I was quite almost excited about having this surgery. So lying in the bed waiting to go to surgery, I was fine, completely calm, no issues, wasn't particularly stressed. The only worry I had was kind of worrying about my wife and kids and family, really, and worrying about what they might be thinking or feeling. So that was about it. That was all I worried about. And then it came to going off to surgery. I was so used to having surgery. I had over 20 operations in about 5.5, 6 years, to the point where I knew the anaesthetists. I knew them quite well. I knew my surgeon really well, and I had absolute faith in what they were doing. So that really helped as well. So also had, I walked into the theatre. In UK hospitals, sometimes they knock you out in a little holding room where they give you the anaesthetic, but I was so used to the system, I walked straight into the operating theatre. Had an epidural first, so the old needle into the spine. Had that first, and then they put in the anaesthetic, and it's good night, isn't it, for a few hours. So waking up from surgery. So I woke up from surgery and I was very well aware that I'd had surgery. I was also numb from the waist down because I'd had the epidural, and if I remember rightly, I had it on a pump. I can't remember what it's called. You press the button and it puts more in. So I had that as well. Sure I did. I've had so many, and I've had the epidural on a couple of surgeries, but yeah, pretty sure I did have that. And that kind of keeps you numb from the waist down, so you can't really feel much pain in your rectum. Could feel it in my abdomen. I don't know why I've got a pen in my hand. Could feel it in my abdomen, the pain in my abdomen, and I was on quite high pain medication for that as well. Let's not mess about. It's painful. It's a painful surgery, but it's short term, isn't it? You've got to think of the long-term goal of what was going to be achieved by having this surgery, but there's no hiding from the fact it's mightily painful, really painful. So you get lots of meds, certainly in the UK hospital you do as well. And although I knew damn well there was going to be a colostomy bag attached to me, I found it a little bit daunting at that stage that it's actually happened. And it was one of the first things I did when I kind of woke up from that surgery, is I put my hand down underneath the sheet. I could feel my abdomen was swollen, and I felt the bag, and I knew it was there. And I knew it was going to be there, but I had to have a feel. I had to make sure it was there. And I was thinking, what if they haven't done it? What if there was a complication? I felt it was there, and again, I was quite relieved. I think, thank goodness it's done. I've got the colostomy. And so then the next stage was having a little look. So I lifted up the sheets, and yeah, there was a big line down my abdomen with stitches where they open you up on the front as well, so they can get inside and form the colostomy, etc. That was big. It's bigger than I expected. I've had it done before when I've had other things removed, but yeah, nice big long scar or wound, if you like, with lots of stitches. I opted for stitches because I'd had staples before, and I really didn't get on with staples, didn't like them one bit, so I did say, can I please have stitches this time and not staples, and they did that, which was fantastic. So yeah, it's waking up and knowing that you're gonna have the scar or the wound, if you like, because it's not a scar yet because it hasn't healed, with all the stitches or staples, and you're gonna have a bag. So when you wake up, that probably will be the first thing you think about is, should I lift up the sheets, have a look, have a feel? It's gonna be there, okay? And that's fine. And that was kind of a moment for me. That was the real realization for me that, wow, this has happened. I've got it now. I've now got a colostomy. There's no going back with this. I've had it all removed. There's no replacing it. It's done. And that can take a little while to get used to. Even though I made that decision, still took a while once I felt it there, and then I was thinking, have I done the right thing? But I knew I had, and 4 years down the line has really proven that it was absolutely the right decision for me. So yeah, I've mentioned the stitches, knowing the bag's there, absolutely. And what I would say with the bag is, don't expect miracles in terms of, they'll probably give you a clear one to start with. They put on a clear one so they can see it working, they can see the output, or the poo, if you like, going into the bag. That will take a while. You know, they've just been manipulating your intestines, they've cut bits out, they've created the stoma through your skin. It's going to take a while for that to start working. So don't be alarmed if after 24 hours or even a bit longer, I don't know why a certain device has started talking. There you go, they're always listening, aren't they? Not going to say her name because she'll pipe up again. Where was I? Yeah, so don't be alarmed if it's not filling up with poo, because it won't. You know, your intestines and everything inside has just gone through a massive bit of surgery, and it's going to take it a while to kick in, get working again. You're going to need to take on some fluids, probably some foods as well, just to start getting things in motion. So don't be alarmed if that bag doesn't start having poo in it straight away, because with a colostomy it's unlikely that it's going to come out fast, quickly. Going to have to give that time. So don't worry if nothing's happening. It doesn't mean it's not working. They won't let you go home until there's poo in that bag, and a good amount anyway. So don't worry about that. It's something you just don't need to worry about. It will happen, I can assure you. So yeah, waiting for it to work. It will work. The other big issue you're going to have, certainly in the way they do it in the UK, the way the surgery is done around the world is slightly different. In the UK, when they've cut all your rectum out and your anus and all that's removed, it's packed. In the UK, certainly at my hospital and many others that I know of in the UK, they pack that wound. They don't just stitch it straight up. It gets packed. Now, the packing that they put in there, obviously it's all medical packing, and that is really bloody painful. Having that changed is immensely painful. Like I say, I can only do things honestly, but think about the long-term goal of what you're going to achieve. You will get some super strong pain meds when they are doing the packing. They pack it. So what happens is you've got this big hole, effectively like that. It's bloody enormous. I got my wife to take photographs of it, and it's huge. I mean, even my wife, who's used to all my surgeries, I said to her, have a look and take a photo when they took the packing out. And even my wife was like, oof, that's a big hole. So they pack it. So it's like that effectively, and they put the packing in, and over time the packing has to be changed every few days, and what it does is it heals up like that and then closes. That way, healing that way is probably one of the best ways to do it, because then there's no pockets forming. It's healing from the bottom upwards, and it just all pulls in and then does that, and it's completely healed, sealed, and you're left with a tiny little line. Considering how much you're open, left with a very, very small scar. So the packing, yeah, it bloody hurts. It's as simple as that. It does hurt having that packing changed, but over time, as the wound is doing that, the amount of packing that goes in gets smaller and smaller and smaller, to the point where you can do it yourself and it doesn't hurt anymore, and then it would just close up. So you also had, well, I certainly also had in the UK a vacuum. So you've got all the packing in, all the packing's in right the way in, and then they put a vacuum pump over the top and they put an airtight seal across, really sticky tape, airtight seal. Now, I'm a man, I've got a hairy bum, pulling that off, that hurts as well. So they put this vacuum pump in, and it's airtight, and it's sucking all the time. It's sucking out moisture, it's preventing any build-up of any bacteria or nastiness forming, just keeps pulling out the moisture, which aids the healing process. So I can't remember how long I had that vacuum pump for. You certainly come home with it, probably about a month or so, once the hole starts really kind of closing up. So yeah, don't be alarmed by that as well. But yeah, that tape that they stick it across to make it airtight, when they pull it off to change the packing, if you're a man with a hairy bum, it's gonna hurt. It will hurt. It's like having a wax strip on your leg and then ripping it off. That's exactly what it's like. So yeah, you'll have that in hospital as well, and they would change the packing in hospital for as long as you stay there. I think I stayed in for about 5 days, I think. Desperate to go home, absolutely desperate to go home. Once they had undone all the epidural and we're starting to come off some of the bigger pain meds, and that they could see the stoma was working, and the wound on your abdomen was fine, it was time to go home with a lot of stuff. Don't be alarmed by the amount of stuff they give you. It's fine. So when you go home, certainly in the UK, I then had a district nurse assigned to come around every 3 days to change the packing. And you know, that's you go home with pain meds, and I did have some pretty strong ones. They were really good, but it's not the same as what you're getting in hospital. So that packaging change when you're at home, yes, it hurts. It's as simple as that. It's gonna hurt. I can't sit here and say it won't. It will. But as I keep saying, just focus on the long game. Focus on what that's going to achieve for you. And with the pain meds, and as it gets smaller and smaller, that pain decreases anyway. So yeah, you will have a district nurse come round. So what did I do to make myself comfortable at home? Pretty much stayed on the bed, really. Laid in bed. I also acquired, I think it was called, I've tried to find it because I've still got it, but I can't find it, an inflatable mattress, a medical inflatable mattress, not like an inflatable camping mattress. I think it's made by a company called Repose. They make Repose cushions and Repose mattresses. If I can find it, or I find the link, I'll pop that in the description. So I was laying on that, which just gives you an extra bit of comfort and support around your bottom area. The only problem with it is quite plasticky, and it does make quite a lot of noise, and it also had a strange smell to it as well. So I laid on that, and I just pretty much, that's all I did. Laid in bed for a couple of weeks, and in that time, that's the time when you want to start getting used to your stoma. Am I up to date? Am I in the right order? Pretty much. And that's when you want to start getting used to your stoma. That's when you want to be looking at it every day. And what you will find is your stoma in the first sort of month or so will change size, because at the moment, all blocked up because of the COVID. At the moment of that point of coming home, you know, you've had all your intestines manhandled. They've taken most of it out to do what they've got to do, and they put it all back in again. So it's been manhandled, it's inflamed, it's a bit sore, so it will change shape. So you may need to vary cutting the size of your bags. My bags nowadays, they're all cut to 25mm because it doesn't change shape anymore. But in the early days, it will change shape. So don't get pre-cut bags. Get the ones where you have to cut the hole yourself. And just monitor it, observe it, watch it. Get used to it, get used to looking at it, get used to cleaning it. Now's the time to do it, because you're lying in a bed with not much else to do other than watch Netflix, Amazon, whatever TV system you use, and get used to it, you know, and do look at it. You know, get familiar with it. Don't try and avoid it. You're laying on your back. You can change your bag while you're laying on the bed. It's quite simple to do. And yeah, you can prod it, give it a clean. It has no nerves, so you can touch your stoma. and just get used to seeing it and being comfortable with it, because once you get comfortable with it, things like taking a shower without a bag on become much easier. Rubbing your hand over it when you're washing the area becomes much easier. So why not start that while you're lying in bed? Don't worry about supplies. You know, you'll get taken care of. You certainly will in the UK. And don't worry about thinking, do I need to look at other supplies? Just forget all of that. Just absolutely forget it. Just get used to having your stoma. Just get used to changing the bag. It is really easy to do. I can do it one-handed. You know, in time it just gets easier. And get used to how your intestines are feeling, because they're going to feel a bit strange for a little while, because they've just been manhandled and they're popping back into shape and into place. That's fine. It's perfectly normal. And you know, you've got to allow your abdomen to heal. It's like, you know, it's effectively like having a cesarean in some respects. You know, they've cut through everything. They've cut through all your skin, through your muscles, everything. All of that has got to bind back together and heal. So just give it time. And that's the best piece of advice I'd give, and I even wrote that in bold, is just give yourself time, give your body time. Just get used to it. Like I say, you're going to come home with the vacuum machine. That can be quite noisy sometimes, and that can, if it's not functioning properly, it gives off quite a nasty smell, which is quite horrendous. Probably means the filter in it needs changing, but your district nurse would talk you through all of that as well. So don't worry about your vacuum pump. Don't worry about your wound in your bum. Don't worry about it. Easy for me to say, but I have been through it. Let the district nurse do the packing, the cleaning of it, and as it gets smaller and you're up and a bit more able, you know, you only have the pump for a certain amount of time anyway. And then you can clean it yourself. You can get your hand in there and give it a wash around, and it doesn't hurt. That's absolutely fine. So yeah, just give it time, and remember your stoma is going to change shape because it's new, it's swollen, things have gone on, and it will probably get a bit smaller. Mine certainly did. So don't worry about your stoma changing shape. Another thing that you can do is literally watch it. It's a moving, living piece of organ, isn't it? And if you watch it, it will move. It just kind of gently moves. It's quite strange, really. It's like a little alien. It will move. It's not, you know, it won't be jumping around all over the place, but it will move. You just see it kind of moving. It's a piece of intestine. It's a piece of organ. It's live, isn't it? So don't worry about that. If it moves, it will do. If you touch it, it will move. It's just the way it works, really. It's incredible surgery and incredible how it works. And you know, they're super clean. It's super hygienic because you can see it. You know, you're taking the bag off, you're cleaning that area, and you can see how clean it is. It's so super clean, completely hygienic, and absolutely nothing wrong with having a stoma. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. You might have had to have it because it's probably saved your life, or like me, it saved my life but in a different way. It gave me my life back because my Crohn's was so bad I couldn't even leave the house. Having a colostomy, boom, I've got a fantastic life. So yeah, don't worry about the stigma. You know, it's the right thing to do. So yeah, in a nutshell, well, it's not in a nutshell, I've gone on for quite a while, haven't I? So yeah, as I said, waking up from the surgery, we've spoken about that. I had an epidural on pump. Yeah, you're going to see stitches, you're going to see the stoma bag, absolutely. Yeah, be patient, wait for your stoma to work, be patient with it. Yes, the packing that goes in your bum, it's going to hurt, but it soon eases off. I think in some parts of the world they just stitch you right up. I don't know if there's the right or the wrong way or whatever, but in different places they do it different ways. But for me, I've got no scar whatsoever really in my bottom area, just a line, looks like Action Man. Yeah, going home is a scary thought process. Leaving the hospital, going home with it is scary. When you walk out of hospital, you will walk very strangely. You do little pigeon steps, probably crouched over a bit, and it's all quite daunting. And it will be daunting, absolutely it will be. But just give it time. Don't rush anything. Just give everything time. If you're in the UK, yes, you probably have the home visits to do the repacking. Like I said, I mentioned the vacuum machine. That is a fantastic piece of kit, that vacuum machine. It literally sucks out anything that shouldn't be there, really, any moisture that shouldn't be building up. Really does help the healing process. Amazing machine. Like I said, I laid on a blow-up mattress, and I still use it sometimes. I've got a donut cushion that I still use because you have got scar tissue there, and sometimes sitting on hard surfaces even now can get uncomfortable. So I have got a donut cushion that works really well. So yeah, get yourself a donut cushion. The blow-up mattress, Repose, that's what it was called. Spoken about that. Give it time. Your stoma will change shape, absolutely. Phantom pains, do they exist? Yes. I haven't had any for a long time, but you can get phantom pains where your rectum used to be, and you can sometimes get the feeling that you want to poo out of a bum that's not there. It does happen. Phantom poo pains, they exist, but for me they faded off. I still get them, but it's rare. I haven't had a phantom poo feeling for months, many months, and it passes very quickly. It's a strange feeling. You think, oh, I need to poo, but I can't, because I can't poo that way. And it passes. So yeah. So other than that, yes, the total recovery, I'd say easily after 3 weeks, probably even less. I was up moving around, not doing a lot, just pottering about, having showers and things. And by a month, I was definitely up and going out, still taking it easy, still being careful. And I'd say after 3 months, I was back at work, which is pretty good going considering that type of surgery. But it's all about giving it time, trying to just not worry about it, just let things take their course. Don't stress. Let it take its course. In terms of, your stoma bags, you'll be discharged with some. They'll set you up in the UK with a stoma company, and most hospitals in the UK use a company called Fittleworth. I changed from them, but just get used to what you've got to start with. Don't worry about researching loads of other bags, etc. Just get used to what you've got, get used to living with it, and then you can start looking at other avenues, like different types of bags, better supplies, etc. So yeah, my biggest bit of advice is, once you've had that Barbie butt surgery, just give it time. Just give it time, and all will be good. I promise you. That's me done. Hope that was useful for you. I'll see you all on the next one. Take care. Bye now.